But it's too late now. I remember you and me, and how careless we could be.
All day and all night, we'd stay up, it felt so right.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Maki here, and bringing you with another what if. It's pretty much what if Naruto was OP and neglected, but redo, because I decided that, it didn't have enough potential. It was too similar to like other what if Naruto was OP and neglected. So I plan on making this one different. So allow me to confirm a few things. Minato is Madara Uchiha's son. Naruto's middle name is Izuna, for Minato to honor his father's younger brother. Kaneko is like the Menma we all know in this what if, so he's blonde. Akane is the Mito of this, so she has red hair. Naruto has black hair and a similar hairstyle to young Madara. Kushina is half Senju and Tsunade is her mother. Kaneko and Akane are like defected Uchiha, mean they don't have the Sharingan and will never be able to unlock the Sharingan. So yeah, now let's get into the story. We start our story off with the Kyuubi attack on Konohakakure, the village hidden in the leaves. Minato Namikaze's wife, Kushina Uzumaki, gives birth to 3 children by the names of Naruto Izuna, Kaneko, and Akane. I'm sorry if I mispronounce, if I'm sleeping with my words, but come on, give me a break. Everything in canon happens, except the sealing of the Nine Tails. The Nine Tails was broken from the genjutsu of the Sharingan that the masked man had put on him, and he saw something in Naruto that he needed to be sealed within this boy. So the Nine Tails told Minato to seal him in Naruto as fast as possible, because he was slipping in and out of the genjutsu. Minato was shocked, but then he reluctantly agreed to be sealed within Naruto. So the full Nine Tails is within Naruto. Minato decided to seal a small bit of his chakra to watch over Naruto while he's doing his Hokage duties. And so we move on our story with a 4-year-old Naruto crying while running away from a mob of villagers in Chunin. He got stabbed by a shuriken in his feet by the Chunin, causing him to stumble and fall. As he fell, the poor young boy was brutally beaten and thrown in an alley. Now, to say this, due to this brutal beating, since he was put to a near-death state, he had temporarily unlocked his One-Tomi Sharingan. So the villagers in Chunin saw this and decided not to speak of it again, and decided to just throw him in the alley. That's why they threw him in the alley. Naruto, while unconscious, is transported to his mindscape, where he hears a very similar voice. Naruto follows his voice till he sees his father in front of a giant cage, and inside the cage was the Kyuubi. Naruto was scared. He moved back a bit, but Minato told him that everything was fine and that they needed to talk. Naruto listened. So Minato was talking with the Kyuubi for these past 4 years. So his chakra that's in there, Minato knows about this, even though he's at the Hokage's office or wherever he is. He knows about this and he talks about the Nine Tails. He talks to the Nine Tails, not about the Nine Tails. So Naruto explains everything, how Madara is his father and that Naruto is his grandson. Naruto was shocked, but asked, didn't Madara die at the final valley against against Hashirama Senju. Minato continued telling him that he was supposed to have died, but then he couldn't, as he was found by my mother, Hana Namikaze, says Minato. And they grew and loved each other to where they had me. And then, as time passes, my mother was killed by bandits, and my father grew angry. He killed them, and he told me to go to Konoha. So I was orphaned. He wrote me a note telling me how we needed to continue with his plan before he met my mother. So he continued with the plan, and so on. And the Kyuubi was like unsealed by Minato, because they've been talking for so long, and how Minato convinced the Kyuubi that Naruto is no threat. He's a child in need of someone, and I believe that someone is you. Like a quick flashback to what Minato was saying to the Kyuubi. I may try an impersonation, and it may sound cringe, so forgive me.
Bruh, you can trust me. If your father trusts me, then you can.
Naruto was scared and reluctantly agreed. The Kyuubi was unsealed. The Kyuubi held its paw to Naruto. Naruto hid behind the figure of his father, and then he jumped on the paw. The Kyuubi raised his arm, and Naruto jumps on his tails, playing with the tails. Minato and the Kyuubi smile at this, and the Kyuubi says,
"Bruh, if we're gonna be good partners and maybe friends, since I know you need friends, I am here to tell you that my name is Kurama, and you will use it with respect."
Naruto agrees. So, while he's playing with the Kyuubi's tails, and so Naruto wakes up, he finds himself in an alley, and his wounds were completely healed. Asking Kurama how his wounds were healed, Kurama explains that he healed the wounds, and that he will heal any wounds that he will ever have during his lifetime. As Naruto walks out the alley, he hears screaming. Three bullies are bullying a young girl. This young girl had black hair with blue tint, with pure white eyes to resemble that she's a Hyuga. Naruto, without realizing, unlocked his Sharingan and went towards the bullies, telling them to stop. The bullies like, what is a demon gonna do about it? So they punched Naruto. They punched him so hard that he got so angry, filled with rage. I'm sorry if you hear my phone. He's filled with rage. Naruto unlocks his Tutomori, and then he beats the bullies to a pulp. And he asks the little girl, whose name is Hinata, Hyuga, if she's alright. She blushes at the sight of Naruto. Naruto had deactivated his Sharingan, so she couldn't see, by the way. So Hinata blushes at the sight of Naruto and thanks him. A Hyuga guard shows up, but as soon as the Hyuga guard shows up, Naruto runs away because he was afraid that the Hyuga guard would beat on him. So he runs off. And the Hyuga guard takes Hinata back to the compound. Later that night, we go to the house, to the Namikaze residence, where Kushina angrily asks Naruto why his clothes are so bloody, and he was silent. Kushina got angry at this and tried to go for a slap, but Minato stopped the slap asking, "What do you think you're doing to my son?" And Kushina pushed Minato away and continued to slap Naruto as hard as possible. Naruto, holding back tears, decides to go to his room. Akane and Kaneko laugh at him because they are complete dickheads. So, later that night, Naruto wakes up in the middle of the night. He decides to go for a walk. As he goes for a walk, he sees someone with a bag. Someone who had a different headband, jumping roof to roof. He can hear a very similar voice that to Hinata's in the bag. Naruto gets angered by this, and he rushes towards him. The man was scared when he saw red eyes, glowing red eyes in the dark. Naruto stepped forward and told him to let Hinata go. The man laughed at him, thinking that it was some sort of monster or something. Little did he know that it was. Naruto forcefully swinged, body flickered towards the man, beats him to a pulp. He grabs a kunai from the man's pouch and stabbed him over and over. The man died, but Naruto did this out of rage that the man underestimated him and was planning on kidnapping Hinata. So, the Hokage, and Hyuga guards along with Hiyashi Hyuga show up to the scene. Minato, shocked by that his son had killed a Jonin by the age of 6, he shocked him and yelled, Naruto, that's enough. Naruto then calmed down and apologized to his father. He had blood all over him. Naruto had blood all over him. He cut the bag open to see Hinata and asked him if she's alright. This is the second time that Naruto has saved her. Hinata grew an even bigger crush to Naruto. And so this begins with Naruhina-ship. But they are too young for that so yet. I'm not talking about no 18 plus stuff. So we move on. The next day, Naruto goes to the academy, which is what they start the academy. So let me just collect my thoughts real quick. So they go to the academy, which is the worst thing for Naruto because he really didn't like it. Everyone gave him glares, and he did not like it except Hinata, who he noticed didn't. Whenever Naruto came close by, Hinata blushed that her face resembled that of a tomato. Naruto smiled at this, and Kiba Kaneko go towards Naruto, ask him, what do you think you're doing, Demon Brian? And Naruto just ignores them. Kaneko tries to go for a punch, but Naruto stops his punch with 2 fingers. Kaneko is pissed. He tries to go for an attack on Naruto by throwing another punch. Naruto then stood up, grabbed his wrist, and threw him over his shoulder. And then everyone saw this, and the fangirls were angry, telling Naruto to get their hands off their Kaneko. So they leave it at that. If you really want me to stick with Mima or Kaneko and Mito instead of Akane, please do say so in the comments. But for now, I think I'll stick to Mima and Mito because it's more simple. So yeah, no one gets pissed. Ryuga is impressed. Sasuke is slightly impressed. He doesn't like it. And to confirmed a few things the Uchiha massacre didn't happen. Minato isn't Uchiha, and even though he didn't tell anyone this because he had his blonde hair, and whenever he activated his Sharingan, he put a Genjutsu under it, so nobody could see the Sharingan. And we do a time skip of, I'd say, 4 years. Naruto isn't really trying at all, so he's the dead last. And by the time of the graduation, whenever Naruto goes, everyone tries to bring him down, saying that he shouldn't even try. But Hinata cheered him on. She was being a little less shy, being around Naruto more often. So Naruto smiled at Hinata, which she blushes immensely at, which gets Kaneko and Kiba pissed. So when Naruto has to throw Shuriken, he notices that the blades of the Shuriken were blunt. He looks at Mizuki, who Naruto knows that he doesn't like him because he has grown inside him. So Naruto decides to pump in wind chakra to make them even more sharper. So Naruto throws all the Shuriken, make sure that they ricochet off each other just to shock everyone, and they hit dead center of the targets. This shocks everyone. Naruto cheers on for him, and we move on to the next. And next is Taijutsu, to where they have to manage to land one blow on Mizuki. Everyone goes to where it's Sasuke's turn. Mizuki doesn't really try, since he wants Sasuke to pass, as he sees him as like the prodigy child and that he deserves to pass. So Sasuke gets a blow on him. The same thing happens with Mendo and Nito. Comment down below which one you prefer, Kaneko and Akane or Mendo and Nito. And so we managed to land the punch. To when it's Naruto's turn, Naruto walks up. Everyone is glaring and smirking that he won't pass, and that he will never pass. He'll never be a ninja. Naruto ignores this, and Mizuki gets a malicious smile on him. That he gets to get his hands on the demon rat and beat him to a pulp. Naruto notices this, so he takes this seriously. He stands in like the Juken or the gentle fist stance. Sasuke then says, "The poor fool. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's going to fail. Does he think that he can imitate the Hyuga?" And Mizuki rushes towards Naruto with chakra-enhanced speed. Naruto sidesteps this. Naruto then does a backflip to avoid another attack from Mizuki. Naruto then says, "You're within my range, Mizuki Sensei." And he goes for like the 64 palms, even though it's like impossible since he doesn't have the Byakugan. And no, he doesn't have the Byakugan. He can't see the chakra points, but he does know where they are from studying the Hyugas whenever they're practicing. But instead of chakra points, he hits pressure points, because he hasn't fully mastered to know where the exact points of chakra are. He does the following: 2 palms, 4 palms, 8 palms, 16 palms, 32 palms. 8 trigrams, 64 palms. Mizuki is knocked out cold, and everyone stares in shock. Naruto is also shocked at how he know that. But she smiled and jumped towards Naruto, giving him a hug. Everyone gets pissed and all that. To win, it's spars. Everyone goes for spars. They all do their thing. To win, it's Naruto versus Sasuke. Fangirls are cheering on for Sasuke, saying, "Beat that demon brat, Sasuke-kun. Go, Sasuke-kun." Sasuke gets a smug from this. So, Sasuke stands and like he's not yet mastered Interceptor Fist. Naruto just stands there with a blank expression. And then Sasuke smug saying, "Giving up already, dope." Naruto just kept staring. So Yuka then tells him to do the unison sign, and then they can begin. Naruto does the unison sign along with Sasuke. Sasuke rushes towards Naruto. Naruto shocking everyone and Sasuke. He does the Interceptor Fist as well, and he intercepts every single blow that Sasuke throws at him. And Naruto then completely bodies Sasuke. Sasuke gets knocked out cold by the blows Naruto is giving him because they were too much for his weak, frail body, declaring Naruto the winner. The fangirls are screaming, and Sakura, the pink banshee of the class, screams at Naruto how he cheated. Naruto, with a death stare, saying, "How am I supposed to cheat? How am I going to cheat if he's just weak?" Sakura gets a tick on her forehead. Then she tries to rush towards Naruto. Naruto then gave her a death stare with a Sharingan, but the Sharingan is under a Genjutsu to make it look like his blue eyes. Sakura freezes, and she doesn't know what to do. So Naruto then walks on. Everyone is told of the joining teachers and the teams. He explains every single team to where it's Team 8. Team 8. Ruka calls up Shino Aburame, Hinata Hyuga, and Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto smiles. Naruto also smiles, and then they get to be on the game team. Then Yuga stops and says, "Before I say Team 7 is Team 7, which is meant to be the assault team. We're messing up. The teammate is supposed to be a dragon team, so Kiba is also there. But Naruto isn't on team. Isn't on team 8, he's on Team 7, which is a conjoined team. And yes, this is similar to other one if Naruto was OP and neglected, gave up like, yeah, yes, it was gonna be different. And you have to admit, it was different so far. So yeah. Namikaze Uzumaki. Naruto. Nito Uzumaki Namikaze. Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Just Naruto Namikaze, Naruto says. Because he looks up to his father and wants to be more like his father. So he just ignores his sick, of course. And Ruka just says, "Oh hey, your joining instructors will be Kakashi Hatake and Kushina Uzumaki." Naruto is shocked and asks, "Why is Kushina Uzumaki a joining instructor? Isn't she a retired ninja?" Naruto asks this to Yuga who says, "No, Naruto, she decided to be back to a joining instructor." So, move on. Kushina gets in looking for Team 7. So they have to wait for Kakashi. Kakashi gets back to get trained by Magma and Naruto. Says he hates them all. He sees Naruto and takes interest more in the war. Tells them to meet at the roof to explain their dreams, goals, and whatever. Like basically to introduce themselves. So Kakashi shrinks body flickers up to the roof. To his surprise, he sees Naruto in front of him. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, for the clone jutsu, Naruto did the shadow clone, and for Mizuki stealing the scroll of seeing, he did try to trick Naruto, saying that he will be promoted to a chunin if he can learn jutsu. Naruto, knowing this negative intentions, decides to go with it. So Naruto took out a scroll and wrote down these following techniques. Flying Raijin. The Flying Raijin, same line. Fire style, just destroy the flame. Wood style, wood dragon. And yes, Naruto does have wood dragon because his own people. And Naruto will eventually unlock his Rinnegan because he has Senju genes and Uchiha genes, which would lead him to unlock his Rinnegan later in the future. But it won't be too soon. Oh, it will be soon. During a certain point. So they all show up to see Naruto and Kakashi. Naruto is reading a book. And no, it's not Icha techniques or Icha paradise. He's just reading a book on ninjutsu. And everyone gets taken marks and how he got there up so fast. Naruto ignores them and keeps reading. So, and yeah, I forgot to mention, Yuoka does show up to the forest, but then he found Mizuki on the floor, near death after Naruto quickly mastered the multi-shadow clone jutsu. So yes, they go for ramen as Yuoka's treat. So yeah, back to where we were. Everyone explains their goal, the likes, dislikes, and goals and dreams. Sasuke is the same, but not really the same. He says his dream is not a dream, it's a reality, and that he will be stronger and beat his brother Itachi. Sakura says the same dumb thing. And Naruto say the exact same thing, how they want to be Hokage, or they want to be Hokage because their father is Hokage. And then it's down to Naruto. Like, everyone's dislikes is Naruto. Kushina is like spending time with family and dislikes Naruto. Kakashi says the same thing. So now we move down to Naruto. Naruto says the same thing as Kakashi, but then he says his goal is to become Hokage, to rid this village of its corrupted ways. Everyone laughs at the goal except Kakashi, who takes interest in Naruto. So Kakashi tells them to meet for the bell test. And not to eat, or they'll only puke. Naruto goes to his apartment, and I forgot to confirm this one thing, is that Naruto got kicked out because Jiraiya and Tsunade going to explain the childhood prophecy and how they need more room to train and not to distract them. Kushina agrees. Minato is reluctant to agree. Minato doesn't want to, but then Kushina kept pushing for this idea. Minato regrets his idea, but it is what it is. So everyone leaves, and yeah, and this is where I'll be ending the prologue. Next part 1 will contain the bell test and the land of Holy Salt. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.